Another day comes to an end with the combine broke down in the field. Have to call the John Deere store in the morning, see if they can send somebody out. Good morning. Now that we've got some daylight, let's take a look. So I was combining along and I noticed a smell like a burning belt. We took some stuff apart and found out that this belt right here that's supposed to have 2 ribs, and it's actually, you know, one piece, it had shredded itself into 2 separate belts, and the one belt had fell off. Up here, we're on the left side of this pulley, and down here, we're on the right side of that pulley. You can see that that pulley is sitting in there at an angle. So simply changing this belt isn't gonna fix anything. Look at how far out of kilter this thing is. It's so far off of being straight that this big belt is rubbing on this sheave and not even touching the sheave on this side. So unfortunately, I think what's going on here is I think this frame piece that this pulley mounts to is actually broken. In between the pulley and the frame, when I flex it back and forth, see that big crack in that frame? This whole thing is gonna have to come apart. Yes, sir, what this combine does best is sit in front of the shop with the shields open and a John Deere truck parked next to it. It's pretty good at that. So right now we are harvesting the test plot. You may have remembered this spring when Cole and I were putting this in, we put 18 different hybrids in a 6.5 acre test plot. We had a whole bunch of people helping out. We were using shop vacs on either end to clean the planter out and get it reloaded. And right now we're just taking it out. Unfortunately, Cole was not able to be here today to ride with me. I'm sure he's sad about that, but I do have a much better looking rider, my wife. We don't need a grain cart because they have a weigh wagon on each end of the plot. That way we don't have to drive all the way back to the other end to dump. And we're gonna get this thing taken out in a hurry. It'll be interesting to see how these 18 hybrids stack up against each other. All right, I want to talk about something quick. So we are combining corn at the home farm right now. There's the dryer, the tops of the bins you can see right over there in the distance. And straight ahead of me right now is the barns where the hogs are eating feed, turning that into bacon. This corn that we're harvesting right now is dry enough that I'm dumping it into a wagon and augering it directly into the feed grinding bin that is hooked up to the mill that grinds the feed right there and gets fed to the hogs right there. Also, right now, as we are harvesting, our neighbor is rolling in with his manure hose and his pumps and all of his equipment to spread the manure from those barns right back onto this field. Also, as we're harvesting right now, Jeremy is in the feed room right over there, grinding this very corn into feed for the hogs. So there is a chance that some of this corn could already be digested and in the manure pit to get spread back out onto this very field 2 or 3 days down the road from now. Is that wild or what? Call it green, call it sustainable. I don't care what buzzword you use. I don't know how you could do it any better than this. Well, it seems a little dangerous to even utter these words, but today could be the last day of harvest 2022. We're in the last field. We've only got 24 acres left. If the combine could just hold itself together for about 3 to 4 more hours, we'll be all done. I can get it cleaned up and take it down to John Deere because we're gonna have a different combine next year. Hopefully we don't have anything serious go wrong in the last 24 acres. Okay, combine, got a little pep talk for you this morning. Now, you only have to make it through 24 more acres, and then you can take a nap all winter long. Please just do us a solid and hang in there. All right. That's a good start. A good start. We are going, but of course the fuel injector is acting up again this morning, so we'll have to shut it down, restart it, and then if it follows the pattern it's been following for the last couple of weeks, it should be good for the rest of the day. But we're very short on horsepower right now. It shouldn't be working it that hard at 3 miles an hour. It seems like the real key to success with this fuel injector issue is, first of all, realizing it's probably going to happen almost every day when you first start out. And after it happens, you want to combine at least a couple of acres so that you get everything hot enough that when you start it back up again, for whatever reason, it's fine for the rest of the day. We've noticed that if you stop and shut down and restart right away when you get the error message, it usually does it right away again in the next pass. Again, not really sure what the cause of the problem is, but it must be electronic. It must not be real. Man, we are big time operators now. We got 2 trucks in one field and we don't even have a load yet.
Why don't you go and start dumping, because I can't get a full pass on you.
Well, this last field that we're harvesting is between 15 and 16% moisture, which is fantastic because we're hauling it right into town. It's not going to have to go into a storage bin. It's not going to have to go through the dryer. And this really speeds up the process of harvest. Plus, saves a lot of money too. Well, I just heard over the radio that harvest is officially over. I am happy and relieved and devastated all at the same time because I really, really love harvest. It's probably my favorite thing that we do every year, and it goes on for a long time, but this year it went by really fast. It is a relief to be done, that the combine finally made it through, but kind of sad that we don't have any more to do because it's been good running the last few days. It's been a blast. Well, this is it. Goodbyes can be hard, but this one's not going to be that hard. I'm on the way to the John Deere store with the combine for the last time. This time it's not for a repair, this time it's to trade it in. I'm also taking the head with me, of course, because they've got to replace that bent auger, and there's a few other things they're going to do to it to kind of make it the way that it should have been when it showed up brand new from the factory. Now, really, I've got nothing against this combine. It's been a really good machine for us. I believe we've had it for 5, maybe 6 years. It's been very trouble-free up until this fall, unfortunately. We had already made this trade deal before we started harvesting this fall, but the next machine wasn't going to be available until after harvest. And I think this combine just got really jealous once it found out that it was already traded off. So it just decided to start breaking down in big ways. I don't know. You can't complain too much when you divide it out over the total time we've owned it, though. Well, there's basically nothing to do now that harvest is over, so I think we're all just going to take a vacation for 3 or 4 weeks or 3 or 4 months, or well, actually, we got some chisel plowing to do. I got to get the neighbor's ripper rented again and get it on the tractor and get around and fix some of the driveways that I ruined with the semi this fall. Of course, there's pigs and cattle and all sorts of things to do. But now that harvest is over, we can start to decide what we're going to do every day instead of just forging on through the marathon of corn harvest. So now we've moved on from hoping that the combine doesn't let us down to hoping that the 8370R doesn't let us down this fall doing the chiseling. We've checked everything out that can be easily checked out on this engine, replaced the crankcase breather filter, which is where the smoke is coming out of. It's not burning any oil. It's got plenty of horsepower. It's running smooth, not overheating. I don't know. You got any ideas? Leave them down here in the comments. Also, make sure to drop back in next week because I should have all the data from harvest on how the test plot did, as well as how the 2 different styles of row cleaners on the planter compared to each other in final yield over all of the acres this fall. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time.